right, appreciate everybody being here. To wrap up this last week, obviously extremely disappointed with Friday night's performance. Getting a chance to kind of decompress, go back, watch the film. Very similar to what I saw there on the sideline. It was a very uncharacteristic performance. It was something that in 2.5 years of being here. It was not to the standard of what I expect our football team to play at. It's not the standard which they know is what's necessary to be successful in our league. Going on the road, we played a Tulane team that was very motivated. A lot of credit goes to Coach Fritz, their team, their players. They beat us in every phase, and we've got to come back, go to work, clean up the mistakes that were made, and we've got to make sure that we hit the field there Saturday at 6 o'clock. That we come out with a great purpose, and we play at a high level. We've got to become a more detailed football team and more consistent in how we execute to be able to achieve success playing in this league. And our guys, everybody on our football team is disappointed, but that's part of the reason that we're in this situation. Is there's things that we've allowed to take place, allowed to happen that have that has hurt us from playing to the top level of our ability. So we're going to continue to work. We had a good practice there yesterday. I think everybody is owning exactly where we are and what we've done up until this point, and we got to continue to get better. And I can tell you that we know how to respond to adversity. We know how to right the ship, and it comes down to hard work and great focus. So I know our football team is going to do that.
Coach, how do you keep them motivated, knowing the expectations coming into the season for the rest of the season?
There's no lack of motivation. These guys have pride. They're great young men. This is a coaching staff, a football team that we have pride in our performance. It didn't show to the level that we wanted Friday, and that's why we got beat. And at the end of the day, you come in, you watch film, you come in and you take accountability, every person, and then you have to correct the mistakes. You got to make sure that never happens again. And so, this is a young football team, and at the end of the day, it's one that we have 8 seniors, and 4 of those seniors were not available to play in the game. And so, when you get into a situation like that on the road, you have to see somebody has to emerge. Somebody has to step up and really set the standard for the team and help hold each other accountable with that. And so that's something that we're growing through it. And I tell you that I believe in these guys. I told them in the locker room right afterwards that there's no group that I would rather be around or be a part of this with than them. And that's something that you have to this is why I coach. It's always fun and great whenever you win and everybody sits there and pats you on the back and tells you how good of a job you do. But the reason you coach is for these moments, and why you play the game is to show that you're capable of a wonderful response. And it doesn't make losing acceptable. It doesn't make poor performance acceptable, but how you bounce back from that, that's going to show the character that you have, and obviously what you're made of. And just like in life, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be unfortunate situations, there's going to be a bad day where you don't perform to the best that you're capable of as a human. But what do you do from there? And so that's a message to the team. It's a message to the coaches. I mean, everybody's got to look in the mirror, and I spent a lot of time there evaluate myself and what we're doing, and obviously how we got to this point.
Coach, the offense, was it surprising how much you weren't able to move the ball as much? I mean, you guys had, I think, 27 plays that went for 0 negative yards. Was that the biggest surprise?
It was obviously disappointing. We didn't do a very good job of execution. Part of that credit goes to Tulane and what they did. They did really what I expected them to do, and they attacked a little bit more. They forced us to win one-on-one matchups, and we didn't execute. I knew they were going to try to take away the run game. We hit the first run play we had was an explosive run, a great play, all around, and I think it was like the next 8 rushing attempts, we were a little over a yard per carry. And so that is a challenge. And then couple that with the negative plays that you mentioned, the penalties that put us in long yardage situation was just, we never were able to get into a rhythm. And even when we had a step forward, it seemed like there was a step back with either a penalty or a negative play that followed up with that. So we got to really work on our consistency, our execution. You go in and watch. We watched the entire film together as an offense, and you can sit there and in the 51 plays that we went through, there's times that we have nine guys doing it right or 10 guys doing it right, but one little detail kept us from having the plays that we're accustomed to. And so it's like I said, it's a great reality check of what it takes to be successful, and we got to maintain focus on that.
The last 2 years, the only losses you had been on the road. What is God's mindset when they travel and they get the stage of Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, we've had success on the road as well. Last year we had, we have a set routine in what we do. You try to make sure that the focus, the mindset, anytime you play on the road, it is a challenge, and that's why when you see. When adversity strikes and you don't necessarily have that comfort at being in your home stadium, and obviously the momentum swings that you feel on the road a little bit more, that's where your maturity has got to step up. That's where your focus. That's where the leadership has got to emerge and help pull or push the team, and that goes for everybody. That's coaches, that's players. We're all in it together, and so. It's been unfortunate how we played. The Navy game. I think that anybody that watched it is pretty clear. I mean, the 3 turnovers that cost us possessions, that cost us plays. Tulane, we didn't turn the ball over. We didn't convert on third downs. We didn't execute at a very high level. But I don't. The most disappointing thing is an uncharacteristic performance of how we approached the game and how we approached what we did on the field, and so that's something that we are getting corrected.
What can you expect from UConn?
I can tell you that this Saturday there's going to be 2 teams that are very hungry for a victory. UConn, you look at their schedule, and I mean they've been through it. They've played every team they've played was undefeated at the time that they played them. UConn's they've been on the road. They've had challenges. They're a young football team. Much like even to a greater extent of what we are. I think on defense it's mostly sophomores and freshmen. They have talented guys. Offensively, they're a little bit more experienced. They got a quarterback that's a dynamic player. They got some big some big play receivers. But both teams are hungry for a victory. So it's going to be 2 highly motivated teams, and the one that executes the best and performs at the highest level will have a great chance to be successful.
You're struggling to force turnovers this year. How are you correcting that going forward?
It's something that we obviously we emphasize, something that we try to improve on, and in practice and in the fundamental aspect of it. But then when you're on the field, it's about being relentless. It's about chasing the ball. It's about 11 guys with one purpose of imagining that they're the only person on the field that can make the play. If you sit around, hoping that somebody else is going to do their job and hoping that the play is going to be made when the ball gets to the ground, then you might not be in the best position. We've got to have that relentless spirit flying around and making most of the opportunity of when you get that chance. And it's like I said, it's been uncharacteristic of us because we've led the country in the first 2 years, or one of the top 2 in the country in forcing turnovers. So that's something we have to get corrected.
Is there anything in practice or during preparation last week that was sort of telling maybe you were worried about going into Tulane?
I mean, I thought our kids. I mean, it was a short week. I thought they approached practice and in a way that we knew we were going to have to go on the road. We knew it was going to be challenging. But as it leading up to game time, that's where I probably had as much concern or just I didn't get a great sense of exactly where we were there, building up to kickoff, and we challenged and obviously emphasized the importance of what it was going to take. But it kind of we started off in just a unique way. I mean, it was, like I said, very uncharacteristic. There were some mistakes that we had early in week that we didn't get corrected at a good enough level. I mean, and some of those things showed up in the game. So it's, we continue to focus. But to say that we had a bad week of practice, no, we didn't. But there were detail things, there were focus things that we did not get corrected, and that goes on me. I mean, 100%. That's if there's things that show up in practice that are mistakes, we have to get that corrected as a coaching staff. We got to make sure guys, hit that field and play fast, play with a fire and intensity, and then play detailed. So those are all things that we're challenging ourselves with.
With those injuries you guys saw defensively last week, are you expecting to get any of those guys back and running up there?
I sure hope so. I mean, we were down, ended up having 5 guys there defensively that were unavailable for us. A couple of them that we thought would have a chance to play, but as going through pregame, they weren't ready. Hopeful that Tito, I think Emmanuel Cooper should be back. Jackson, we're going to see how he progresses this week. Sam Kraft there, I do believe is going to be available this week. Exactly what he looked as good as he's looked, there yesterday in practice. So we'll see where he is as the week progresses. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, I know there's a number of them, but we'll see how the week progresses. And I think we should have a better sense by Tuesday, Wednesday.
Coach, you guys didn't lose last week, but you had a big Memphis contingent in New Orleans. How much does it mean for you guys to have to know that the city's behind you guys?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so disappointing, because we understand that there's a lot of support for what we're doing, and to see that many people go down to New Orleans to support this team, and for us not to perform at a level that I believe that we're capable of, and I tell the guys all the time, it's about who you represent. And that's why we always have the name on the back of their jersey. I mean, that will always be there, because I want people to understand that they represent their families. Their name needs to be important to them. Well, that name on the front of that jersey is dang important to me, and it's important to this community. And so every time we take the field, if we can never go out and perform at a level that's less than our expectation. And we've played at a high level here. We've played it very passionately here, and so that needs to be something that continues, especially when you see the support of people sacrificing to go on the road and be there for us. And so we're going to get that. We're going to get that done.
Bryce obviously had a heck of a game. Do you see that kind of continuing for him? What does he need to do?
Bryce has been a very explosive player for us this year, and I'm pleased to see the consistency week in and week out that he's putting up the statistics. He's making the plays. TFLs, quarterback sacks. What I would like, as he continues to grow and become more detailed. You go back and watch film, and man, he had a phenomenal game. I think he had 5 TFLs. A couple sacks. He probably could have had 3 or 4 more. But there's just little detail things, plays that I know he wanted to have back, and that's where he's going to continue to grow. He had to play. I think he played almost every snap in the game the other day. We were in a position where he had to do that with Jackson being down, but it never showed signs of fatigue. Played hard. Some of those fundamental things that he will get improved. He's got a chance to make him a very dominant player.
Coach, you stressed how much depth you guys have on defense this year. Now with it being tested, do you feel like now it's time for those guys to just kind of prove that depth a little bit more?
Oh, I think anytime you step on the field, you've got to prove, or obviously play at a level that is our standard. And so everybody wants more. Everybody wants more, more opportunity, more playing time, more snaps. But at the end of the day, when you get on the field, you've got to perform at a high level. You got to show that you're worthy of it. And so I think that there were guys that stepped up. I mean, you look at defensive front, John Wilson, I thought played extremely hard. He played defensive end. He jumped down to 3 technique, was all over the field, played tough, played physical. John Tate had to play more snaps with O'Brien, which I do think O'Brien has got a chance to be rolling here this week. But with him being down, John Tate had to play a majority of snaps there. But we had some guys that have been 2s, 3s, and some guys. I mean, heck, we had a couple guys playing that were on our look squads, 2 weeks ago. And but when they get their opportunity, how are they showing themselves? Are they showing that they're ready for an increased role when those guys get back? And that's something that that's all part of that accountability and self-evaluation.
You mentioned all those defensive interior guys. What about Tito Wyndham, Leandre Thomas? Any chance?
Yeah, I mentioned Tito. I think should have a good chance of being back. We'll see how Dre comes back. This week. We're still evaluating him, and at the end of the day, we're not going to put somebody on the field that has any risk of further injuring themselves, and so we're going to make sure that they're 100% before they get back on the field.